Well, you look the part, but let's see some of your moves.
Feeling like a star, you can't stop my shine. I'm loving Cloud City, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm hunting solo, I'm hunting solo, I'm hunting solo, solo. Yeah, I'm feeling good tonight, finally feeling free and it feels so right. Oh, time to do the things I like. Gonna see a princess, everything's alright. Oh, no job but an answer to, ain't a fixture in the palace zoo. No, and since the carpet nights off me, I'm living life now that I'm free, yeah. Told me get myself together, now I got myself together. Now I made it through the weather, better days are gonna get better. I'm so happy, the current night is gone. I'm moving on, I'm so happy that it's over now. The pain is gone. I'm putting on my shades to cover up my eyes. I'm jumping in my ride, I'm heading.
Okay, I have to say, besides hearing that song, it makes me happy. Seeing Ark jump in and say yes, the intro is awesome. Made my Wednesday. So
That's very cool.
yeah. So thank you, Ark. And I am sorry for anyone that's trying to get this on the iTunes feed and all that. I've just been having issues with my Anchor, which I will try to get straightened out right away because Rural Farm Boy was having problems, and I'm just trying. I got to get that straightened out. So, but welcome. This is our I forget what I called it. Air to the air. Wait, what did I call this episode?
Air to the summer episode.
Yeah, Air to the Summer episode. That was our throwback to John getting the title to Filoni's thing correct as of right now.
As of right now.
I'll still take my preemptive bows.
As of right now, it could change, but yes, Heir to the Empire. So okay, here
I
we go.
figured out that the echo was coming from my end.
Ah,
Ah.
well, you know, it's your turn to have your turn to have the errors.
Or
Yeah.
be the error.
It can't always be Mike.
Yeah, it was during the intro when my mic was muted. I fiddled around some other things and seemed to get everything smoothed out.
Good. So this
Perfect
is our
time.
new. We're going to try to keep this under an hour, and we did well, right, Ken? Last time.
Yeah, it was like 50 minutes, I think.
Yeah, we did really well. So we're going to try to keep this under an hour, so the people that enjoy our show are not having to spend so much time with us, and they'll get sick of us quicker. But let's just let's start with troop time before we get into our conspiracy theories. John, let's start with you.
Oh, yeah, I trooped at some point in the last 2 weeks since I've been gone.
You were gone last week.
What did I do? What did I do? I feel like I had 2.
I think you had at least 2.
You had one as your officer, I thought.
Yeah,
Was that in between in my hiatus?
I believe it was.
No, because that was Revenge of the 5th. I think we already talked about that.
Did we?
Did we talk about our May 4th troops?
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. We haven't talked to you
Roll
since.
the tape.
Yeah. But anyway, have you done what's your last troop you did, John?
The last troop I did was May 13th. I did the Return of the Jedi live in concert.
Okay. And what'd you think?
Oh my god, that was so cool. However, it was hard to watch the movie because I kept watching the band.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, okay, well, I should probably focus a little bit more on the movie, then I would forget about the live concert.
Have you ever been to any of those before?
I have not. Yeah, that was the first one, and did not disappoint. Especially, I mean, Return of the Jedi is always just fun. So, but yeah,
Did Dad with you?
No, it was just me. He had to work. But yeah, I carpooled down with our squad leader, and yeah, it was a fun time. So they gave us all free tickets to go join in, but we looked at the tickets. It's like, oh, they gave us like every other seat. Like there's
Ah.
no pairs together
Yeah.
until we like got down because like they put us up in their
Balcony.
no, not for like before the event. Where the changing room, it was on the 4th floor. So like we're getting tickets handed out to us, and we're all looking at it. It's like none of these are together. So then we get downstairs, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, it's weird. Like they're all together. It's just it's section. It's this that, and then that's how you get this seats here." So I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then on top of that, like the only thing we only missed, I think we missed the crawl, and then the Imperial shuttle like flying into the Death Star, and then we were able to watch the rest from there, so I didn't miss. It would have been cool to see the iconic fanfare, but
Yeah.
can't complain too much.
Yeah, I'm
What
gonna
about
do
you
one of
guys?
those this summer. That'll be my first one.
Cool.
There's one
Have
going to be
you've
in
never done
Philly
one
in June.
before either, Ken?
Never trooped one. No. Actually, I don't think I've ever been to a live performance other than the small John Williams concert at Celebration.
No, they're so cool. I mean, it's just it's you forget how that music is attached to your watching of those movies.
Well, George had talked for a long time about how they were kind of designed like silent films, and that's why he
Yeah.
chose Williams for the music.
How about you, Ken? Did you troop?
Nope, no troop for me. I've got an armor party coming up this weekend in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. But
Is
no
that Saturday
trooping.
or Sunday?
Saturday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I trooped a library event on a Thursday, which was good and bad because man, it made Friday rough. But yeah, it was me, Zoe, and Safi. It was the first time we had trooped together, all three of us, in a long time. So, yeah, we trooped, got my TK out, and had Sabine and 000. So, because what was nice was the changing room was so close that I could be in armor. So if Safi needed a break, I could jump to her rescue. So,
Bless you.
Thank you.
but yeah, that's it for trooping time. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Costume corner.
Costume corner. Oh yeah, here I got it. I do have a scroll for that too. Sorry, I'm out of touch here. Costume corner, Ken. You kick it off.
Yeah, so this Sunday here, the weather was absolutely fantastic, and so I got to work on my resin chest piece and gauntlets, my 3D printed din stuff, and I got a little bit of paint on my gaffy stick.
Nice.
So
Oh,
I did a whole lot of stuff this Sunday.
That's cool.
And I've decided I'm going to make my gaffy stick a little bit longer than most. For reasons. And I want to learn that Tuscan dance that Boba Fett did in the book of Boba Fett, so I can teach other people how to do that. Maybe get a bunch of Tuscans dancing around at some con at some point.
Nice.
And I also got, I don't know if it'll show up very well.
You got a floaty.
I got a floaty for my prisoner costume, for my Narkina 5 prisoner costume that I have.
How about you, John? Any costumes in the works?
Nothing super solid. I mean, I'm looking like what I want to do next, like realistically. But nothing. I have not put pen to paper, as the kids would say.
What about your Cal Kestis hilt?
I did. I mean, I did the hilt, but that's a far cry from being like a finished costume, especially because I'm not cutting my hair.
Did you print bow?
Nope, I still need to do the chest, the back, and the gauntlets. Those are the only things I have left, and the belt buckle. Those are the only things I have left to do.
Nice.
So,
Well,
Mike, what about you?
So, I I built a giant lizard pen for Safi, so that took up for her next lizard. The pen is 3 foot by 3 foot by 6 foot.
Oh, I was actually thinking a pen shaped like a lizard.
No,
Hmm.
a pen, actual. But I worked a little bit on Vader, just cleaning up the one. I'm not happy with the one belt box. I did pull my helmet mold out for my clone, so I got my fiber. I'm going to try. I've never done fiberglass in these molds, so I'm going to try fiberglass. I'm going to do a fiberglass helmet. So
I mean, it's a good test because I'm sure you want to do a protocol droid in fiberglass.
oh, I am doing. Yeah, the protocol droid will be a little easier because those molds are bigger.
Mhm.
But I'm going to try the helmet too. I worked on C3PO, my one piece 3PO head a little more. I got this guy, the new Dianovos, or however the hell it's pronounced. Sabine, I'm trying to think. Zoe got the officer's uniform. So I got the code cylinders, and I'm going to order the rank badge for her.
I highly recommend Bailey builds on Etsy
Okay.
Rank badges?
for rank
I
badge.
need the badge to match the girl from Mando. That's who she's doing. It's just 4. It's just, I think it's 4.
What color? Do you
I think
know?
it's 2 red and 2 blue.
Oh my god, what was her character's name?
I forget. I looked it up at work, and I was like, I'll worry about this. And then Friday, I'm going Wookiee hair shopping, and I think that's it for my costumes. I'm just, I keep saying I'm not going to add one, and then that officer's uniform lands in my lap. So, I had a pretty unproductive / productive Sunday because I also picked up a 500 millimeter printer. So
Yeah, I was gonna say you sent a picture in the group where it's like, yeah, I picked up a printer, and then it was a picture of a TIE fighter. This thing is huge. Back to back. I'm like,
I also got that giant TIE fighter. Whatever, it's a black.
Yes, this one.
Yeah. He gave it to me.
Yeah.
He was like, "Here, you want this?" Or no, I went to pick up the printer. He gave me the 500 millimeter printer, and then he said, "Do you have room in your car for this?" And I didn't know. And then he just walks out with this giant TIE fighter. I was like, "Oh, I guess so." So, I mean, I was at the right place at the right time, I guess. But that big printer, once I figure out where I can put it, because I have no surface big enough to actually run it on, which I guess is, that's first world problem, I guess. But I think I will do the start chopper.
Mm.
Do a Michael Badley snap together chopper.
do you know what printer it is?
Huh?
Do you know like what
It's the Creality. What are they? The 500.
the Ender 5?
No. The whatever the Crealities was. It was a CR5 or CRS, whatever the 500 millimeter Creality printer. Yeah, that looks like the officer's badge you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's my costume corner.
Was it your mannequin? Does your new mannequin collection count in costume?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the mat. I got a whole bunch. So I got one for you, Ken. You can have one of them for yours.
Oh, cool.
So I mean, because he gave them to me, I'm not like and it's just a bust up. Like it's making me rethink how I'm going to display some stuff. Like because I can now put my Vader chest armor and the helmet on one. Because the one has a headpiece on it and stuff.
Oh, very cool.
So it makes me. I'm like, now I got to think of a different way because like these are nice to display, but I'm thinking if I take these in the other room and put them on their side and put the busts across the top, I can put some helmets below.
Yeah, that's a
and then
good point.
you know what I mean? Like so I can. I don't know. I'll figure something out because I was thinking even some of them I'll just put a headpiece on and put one of my old Star Wars T-shirts on it. Oh, there we go. E-girl's done with high school. Well, I've been stuck in middle school for 21 years. So
Congratulations, e-girl.
yeah, congrats. But yeah, so it's making me rethink how I want to display stuff too. Which that's how well that works with me when I change my mind on things. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally forgot all about that. But yeah, the 500 millimeter printer is going to change things because I've been putting off printing a droid because I didn't want to spend the money on a big metal dome, but I also didn't want a dome that was multiple pieces because I don't care. Just from people touching it, those seams are going to come out. I don't care how you seal them up, So I can print the 500 millimeters. It'll print an entire R2 dome in one piece.
Oh, that's very cool.
So hopefully it all works, and we'll see. But yeah, I think that was. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, which I don't think I made a. I guess we could put it under podcast talk, but we have a panel at Fan Expo. So John can't make it, but me and Ken will hold the ship. It'll be me, Ken, Zoe, and Sappy. Sappy even agreed to do the panel.
Wow, so, I was quite surprised when you mentioned that.
Yeah, so we're going to be we're not going to be on the main stage. We'll be in one of their panel rooms, but it's still a panel room. And it'll be at 10:45 on Saturday, I believe it is when it is. And we're going to talk about family and Star Wars and positivity and all that stuff. So if you're going to Fan Expo, go on Saturday and see us speak.
And we'll be able to put a version of that up afterwards, right?
Yes, and then so Missy's going to do the video recording and all that. We're going to take a computer, so we will have a background slideshow playing. That's what I was telling Matt. I said I have some pictures of you, me, and John on the set of his show because we're going to talk about family and positivity, but it's going to be both blood relation family and found family. So
yeah, because I think we even have a picture of the three of us in your basement that when we had the armor party.
That one there, I have that one. I think I have one of us out front with a giant Darth Vader inflatable.
Oh,
Those are some of my favorite pictures. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. So, that Burger King Vader inflatable makes me happy all the time because I remember seeing it when it was out when they first had it out. I think that came out with Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking, man, that'd be cool to get one of those someday. And then I just totally forgot about it. And then right before Safi graduated, someone I knew said, hey, I have one of these for sale. Anyone? I said, how much? He told me how much. I said, I'll be down today to get it. I bought it for her. That was her graduation blow up. And then we put congratulations hanging from the lightsaber. So yeah, that's Saturday. Yeah, we'll post it up, and then I'll give all of us a copy of it, and we can put it up on our feeds. Even though you're not going to be there, John, you'll be there in spirit,
and we'll definitely be talking about you. That's for sure.
Well, I can't wait because that's my one line in the show because it's supposed to be family friendly. I can just use that same line I use all the time. For kids, this is not how you meet people, and I can mention how we. And you could say the same thing, Ken. Kids don't meet strangers in the toy aisle.
Yeah, the toy aisle of your local Target.
That's like a 1980s after-school movie.
Yeah.
Little Billy went to look at toys, and he never was seen again.
Yeah.
Hey, I made some of my best friends via the internet.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, yeah, but it's just it's just a funny story. I mean.
Yeah. How much time do you guys have?
Huh?
I think it's 45 minutes.
Yeah, we have 45. They say 45 minutes. I think it runs about 50 minutes if I remember correctly.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe I'll record something like a little video. Just be like, hey, I'm not there, but
Hey, whatever you can get us, But I figure we'll do a half-hour show or more, and then. If we have anyone in the audience, I don't know. I have no clue. I know nothing about Fan Expo. I think I was there with you last year, right, Ken?
Yep.
But I don't know
That's when I lost. I went there Saturday with my complete Kennex kit,
That's
and
right.
then on Sunday I brought the wrong helmet bag.
Well,
So
if
I
you
couldn't
can, bring
pick
your
it up.
bucket, Ken, because I'm thinking
Oh,
we
yeah.
can set our buckets in front of us.
Oh, that's a great idea. Because all four of us have
Yeah. So
What day is it?
Saturday,
Saturday. Oh
June 3rd.
man, I wish I could be there.
well, they told me last Friday.
Now you know how I feel. At least it's in your backyard and
Yeah,
not across the pond.
but I think I applied for that. I want to say January, because at the time I wasn't sure where Zoe was going to be, so I didn't put one in for her. So, but anyway, anyone that's down there, if you're down in Philly, Fan Expo, there is tons of Star Wars people there. Like if you have a list of autographs you want to get, man, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah, I
So,
think Katie Sackhoff is going to be there. Hayden Christensen,
yeah. So
Zoe Hinton. I mean,
Joey Hinton of Star Wars Geek Girl fame / our Star Wars story fame. If they would just put our Star Wars stories on Disney Plus, just put that on Disney Plus. Damn Geico having to pay for all that. So, but yeah, that's our news. The only other news I can think of is the gentleman who plays the villain in Ahsoka passed away,
Mm-hmm.
which was very sad.
well, and Tina Turner died today, but
And Tina
that's not Star Wars.
Which Tina Turner, I was very sad, but I didn't know she was still alive. So, because I just didn't realize she was still with us. So I'm a bit sad that I didn't know she was still with us, and I'm sad that she passed.
Well, speaking of podcast talk, not to change the subject away from people passing, when we recorded our last episode of The Forces Behind Star Wars, we did it live for our first time ever
Oh,
at a
right.
theater, and we had a special guest. His name was Andrew, which is one of Anthony's friends here in New Jersey. And so recently he's been added to our text messaging string, so there's a good chance that we'll have a new guest or a new host on our show. Andrew will probably be joining the crew once we record another couple episodes.
Now, are you guys going to use Restream?
I think so. I mean, I know that Anthony was excited about using it for our live event, so we'll probably go down that path with our other recordings.
Cool. So that gets us to, look, we're 23 minutes in. So that's like perfect timing. We got all the nuts and bolts out of the way, right?
Well, I don't know about all the nuts.
Well,
Yeah.
but check everyone's show. So check John's show at the Beskar Bucket. He'll be having a new episode, I'm sure, soon.
Eventually, yeah.
And,
We're getting there.
Ken's show, the Rambling Star Wars fan. What, you got anything coming out, Ken?
I actually just wrote the outlines for 2 more episodes. One of them is going to be on a book, Star Wars 100 Things, and another episode is going to be on Star Wars Visions Season 2.
Nice.
And I'm still working on putting the final polish on the criticism or the critique of the criticism of The Last Jedi that will be released some point soon.
I think you should flip that, play it backwards, and just put it this backtrack of all your shows. Yeah, and then I have Zoe and Lizzie are trying to get together and get some shows done. They're both working like maniacs.
The writer's strike hasn't affected their show, has it?
The writer's strike has not affected their show, but it has affected other things in Zoe's life, which then makes her have to work more. And and then I'm still working on CreatorCast. I have some plans, and so I'm hoping I'm going to talk to a couple people this week, and possibly make some announcements. But I'm trying to figure out which way I want to go with CreatorCast, and bring that back. But we still have this. So now let's talk about the topic. And I didn't bring my tinfoil hat, maybe because I don't need one. Maybe I'm just tinfoil hat all the time. That's my I really thought it was metaphorically. I really feel bad.
I guess he doesn't actually read the text that we send to him, John.
I read things very briefly. You have to write it out like multiple times for. And honestly, like I'm the one that does the grocery shopping, and I'm looking at your hat, and I'm like, that probably cost him like $10 to make. So Ken, lead us off with conspiracies and predictions and whatever we got.
So, with this speculation spectacular, I think we should start off with one of the recent announcements from Disney World that they are going to be closing the Star Cruiser hotel slash attraction at Batu East. And so I'm speculating that even though they're closing it, they are going to find a in-universe way of still using it, because I can't imagine that they would have invested as much as they did into that building just to not do anything with it at all. You look like a Teletubby now. Not that I don't look like a Teletubby, but
I figured it completed the look.
So
I felt a little left out.
So out of universe, or maybe in universe, what do you think the last flight of that will be like?
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a lot of folks who've been on it before trying to get in one last hurrah.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, you think they'll change the skit up a little bit? Like the First Order will just come blow them all away?
Or they'll go off script and just start throwing food at the passengers. Yeah, I imagine it'll probably be bittersweet, and actually probably more bitter than sweet, because I don't think anybody really wanted it to go away. And the weird thing for me, and we talked about this a little bit before we started recording. So it got announced recently that the Star Cruiser is closing, and all of a sudden it seemed like the internet erupted with all these people, piling on Disney, saying it was a stupid decision to close and they can't believe they're doing it. And then on the other end you got a bunch of people like, oh good, it was, it should never have been opened, it was a rushed thing and it was a waste of time and it was overpriced and all of this stuff. I was just very, very surprised to read some of the things I read about the closing of it.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned it, and Justin Sonfeld, the CEO of 501st, which he didn't write this under that blanket. He just wrote it as a person. He wrote a very good piece on the closing of it. And I know a lot of people made jokes, and that's fine too. But yeah, it was just weird. And again, I probably would have never gone, but I was trying. Like I was like, okay, how much is saved up in my Chase Disney credit card points that could get me to the Galactic Cruiser? And would I rather go 6 days at Disney or 2 days on the cruise? So I mean, I was actually more upset with Disney when they closed the submarines from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I love those things. So,
yeah, I definitely would have gone on the Star Cruiser. It wouldn't have been this year or next year, but we had talked about wanting to figure out a way of going, even if it was just me and Heather.
And the one review that always stuck with me was when Sal and his family went under the press junket, and Sal, he's in the same boat as me, like financially, and like just a normal person, not like buckets of money laying around. And he said after doing it, they were starting to save money to actually go again. And like to me, that's like the best. That's better than a 5-star review. If someone who went for free still finds value in going back.
Well, I know of a bunch of people that have been on it, and I have not heard a single one of them complain about the experience.
Right.
Not even kind of sort of. I've heard more people complain about local conventions or even Star Wars Celebration. I've heard more people complain about that than the people that I know that have gone on the Star Cruiser.
Right. Yeah. Well, most of the negative press that has come out about it has been people that have never done it.
Well, and on top of that, the people that I know that have gone on it have gone on it fully committed.
Right.
They weren't going on just to be a tourist to see the nerd herd. They went on it with the intention of playing the game for the whole 2 days.
Yeah.
Because it's an immersive experience. You're interacting with actors while you yourself are also acting. And they said they had so much fun doing it, even though they only got to go to Batu for a little bit on those 2 days. But they all just talked about how incredible it was and such a good job that the performers did, and the costumes were great, and the food was fun and tasty.
Yeah.
But I've never heard anyone who's gone on it personally complain about the experience.
And this conspiracy / prediction was added to it compared to what we were thinking about. So Ken, when you were thinking about this episode, what was your main conspiracy / prediction?
My main one had to do with season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Whether or not it's actually going to happen. I know that Ewan McGregor has been on stage saying that he'd like to do a season 2, and there's been a couple articles here and there about how it might work or it won't work or whatever. So my speculation is at some point, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in 2024 or even 2023, because we already have a full dance card.
Right.
But I think that they're going to have a season 2 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Now, does the season 2 have to be linear? Does it
You need to follow right afterwards?
Does it have to follow right after, or could it be before?
I think it would be linear, meaning it would happen afterwards, but I don't think it has to be right afterwards.
Yeah. Well,
and it doesn't even have to.
From some of the movies, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, and I don't think it has to focus just on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Just like with Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian, they've planted enough seeds that you could have some branched off stories still in that part of the timeline that the Obi-Wan Kenobi show took place in.
Well, what would be the topic that you think what would be your tinfoil hat prediction of what topics would be other than Obi-Wan?
I think it would be something to do with the path, something to do with getting Jedi to safety after Order 66.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines, not necessarily the path. I was thinking of like surviving Jedi. Like you would jump to surviving Jedi, or jump to, like where the Mandalorian started with one Mandalorian and it slowly started giving you more Mandalorian. How about you, John?
In regards to Obi-Wan, or just
or any predictions, or
I don't know if I have any good ones. I think I burned my one slot on Heir to the Empire, which again, thank you. Hold the applause, please.
Reportedly, that's the name of the show.
Now, is there going to be a prediction category on the Georgies next year?
Perhaps.
That
could be a fun topic.
All I'm saying is, if I'm right, I want my Georgie. That's all I'm going to say. This might be a stretch. However, not to worry. I think that the Bad Batch season 3 is not going to be the last season. It may be the last season under the Bad Batch umbrella, but I don't think that this is going to be the last we see of the Bad Batch.
So let me follow up on that. So would you say the Bad Batch is the newer seasons of the Clone Wars under that same
100%? I mean, it's kind of hard to argue that it's not. I mean, it's the same animation style. It literally picked up where Clone Wars left off timeline wise.
Right.
So I mean, like it's
That
hard to
goes with
say.
what Ken was saying a while ago, where just to keep that animation alive.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's gorgeous animation, and they've invested so much time into perfecting it. I think it would be a shame to just, I mean, to end it. I mean, look how long the Simpsons has been around,
Yeah,
and they've improved their animation from that first season on Fox to where they're doing things now. I mean, Clone Wars, Bad Batch, similar in terms of, they've worked on this style, they've improved the style, they've told some wonderful stories with it, and there's so much room for so much more.
and there's a generation of people who like that Obi-Wan, that Anakin is their Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
I mean, I have students who have never seen the movies but have seen all the Clone Wars, which makes no sense to me, but that's,
Some might argue you don't need to see the movies to see the Clone Wars.
right.
Yeah, I think that the Bad Batch has been too popular for them to just and not to mention, like, we still don't know what Rex is doing. We don't know what's going on with Gregor or
Yeah.
Wolf, or was it just Rex, Gregor, and Wolf on the
Yes.
AAT?
Yes.
the ones that were fishing for the giant worms.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought there was 4 for some reason.
No.
But there's a whole lot of time in between, Gregor breaking out of prison, Echo helping Rex, and then Wolf somehow coming in season 3 to, we're fishing for space worms.
Well, and with that idea, there's room for stuff in between the other movies that aren't necessarily focused on just the clones, but just
Yeah.
Star Wars characters in general. I mean, they've included Fennec and I mean, Cad Bane started off in
Yeah.
Clone Wars and Rebels, and now he's live action. So they could very easily take some live action characters and cartoonize them,
And then we can
animate
find
them.
out that Bosk is married to that Trandoshan lady, the short one. That's her husband. That'd be my tinfoil thing.
And see, that would be fun for some of these arcs that go off in different direction. I mean, from what I remember of some of the expanded universe stuff, Dengar was like a swoop bike racer, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so they could do some of those stories, just like they did with Tales of the Jedi. So an extension of John's tinfoil hat of season 3 not being the last season of the Bad Batch, that they may tell more Star Wars stories using that Clone Wars Bad Batch animation style.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? What's your big tinfoil hat prediction?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Even though you're not wearing one and you're
I
not
know.
in uniform.
Well, mine was mainly just going to be that
Bless you.
Thank you.
that my tinfoil hat, which I don't know if I think of this anymore, but when I was watching the Ahsoka trailer, I was almost worried for a minute that she was using World Between Worlds, like, to go through and try to change things. Because when that one droid says, "Let's do it again," which I realize now after watching a couple times, it's just a training sequence. But I pictured her almost like, what was the show? Quantum Leap. Her like quantum leaping through the Star Wars universe. That would be my tinfoil hat. Which that John, if you don't know what that is, that's a guy who used to travel.
I know what Quantum Leap is.
Just checking. That's not a very overly played show, you know.
Yeah,
It's not like the A Team or anything like that.
I mean, and the other tinfoil kind of Star Wars adjacent. At first, I was worried about the Indiana Jones movie. Like, if you would have asked me before we went to Celebration, I was like, "Oh man, I don't know how that's," because I didn't like the name Dial of Destiny, and and then after seeing the trailer and the extra footage they showed me, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But my tinfoil hat would have been like, that Indiana Jones is gonna go the way of the Crystal Skull, I think. But I don't think so now.
Yeah, real quick, not to side rail too far. My dad and I were talking about it because it premiered at, what was it? Was it Sundance or was it Cannes?
And I think.
And I saw, just real quick, I didn't look too deep into it, but IGN gave it a 4.
Yeah.
And my dad and I were sitting there. I'm like, wow, that does not bode well for indie. And my dad said something that made a whole lot of sense that I didn't really think about. And he's like, well, yeah, they gave it a 4, so it's gonna be the best one yet. And I'm like, what makes you think that? He's like, look at every single movie that's come out in the last 18 months. The critics bomb the movie.
Yep.
But the audience seems to love it. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, Mario had like a 54 and a 90 some audience score. Dungeons and Dragons, Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, they all.
Fast X.
I was gonna say Fast X. I mean, I don't, and it's one of those things where it's like, what is the divide? Why is it so vast now?
Well, I think in terms of critics, we'll talk about critics specifically. They look at movies far differently than your average audience member. They look at the technique of the movie being made. They look at historical significance. They look at how the music connected with the movie, and fans often go, and Fast X is a perfect example of this. They just go to have fun.
Right.
They go to enjoy the spectacle of it. They love going with their friends and family members. It becomes an event for them. And I'm going to guess that the kids who liked the Super Mario movie, if you were to read some of the critics' critiques of the movie, they would make no sense to the kids. The kids could give two turds about what a critic has to say about a movie. And the same, I think, is going to be true of Indiana Jones. I don't think many of these kind of movies are made for the critics anyway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it did show at Cannes, and which is a highfalutin kind of situation. I don't know if the movie itself was made for the folks who typically go to Cannes and so
Well,
on.
If you look at any of the award shows, Oscars and all that stuff,
Not the Georgies.
you can't take a Marvel movie, take even one of your least favorite Marvel movies, and you take one of those people that they're acting in a green screen with weird creatures in that, and they do a wonderful job. And then you have a classically trained actor in a complete set, and they're acting just like a normal human being talking to someone. Who's the better actor? I mean, I hate to be mean, but it's like we're like Shakespeare, what the play of the common people at the time, or the entertainment when he first came out, like it was considered like lowbrow. And I think there's the mass audiences, the lowbrow stuff is what we like. It's just what Ken said. We're paying $10, $15. If we get $10, $15 worth out of it, of something we love, we're happy. I don't care which way the camera moved and what lighting they used. If it looked cool, the Hulk smashing Loki, can you get any better than that? Or you watch Lord of the Rings, movies, which have some age on them. Or watch the original Star Wars movies and all of that,
But then so you've got that level of criticism and critique, and then almost 180-degree different, you have the internet trolls who will just heap on, dirt upon dirt upon dirt upon dirt about why these movies are awful and they shouldn't be made or whatever, and they still tend to be successful.
Yeah. Well, the internet trolls are driving me nuts because it's eating into other things now. Like I said with podcasts, I think these podcasters who are not getting enough traction or whatever they perceive as traction, they're just turning what was a fun Star Wars podcast into, well, I don't like this and I don't like that, and I feel bad. Like I hope we at least know when we're ready to pop out and not do.
Well, I think one of the big differences between our show and some of these other ones that have gone that path of the negativity and so on, and this is just tinfoil hat. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's part of the theme for tonight. Some of those folks may not feel like they're getting enough hits. They're not getting enough views. They're not getting enough ad revenue. They're not getting enough likes and subscribes and retweets and reposts or whatever it is. Where I mean no offense when I say this to the two of you. Please know how much I appreciate you and respect you and adore you, and I'm thankful that we talk Star Wars every week. I don't care if we have 3 people listening to us or 300 people listening to us. This to me will always just be fun.
Right. No, I
Mhm.
agree 100%. I mean, we have one person watching us now, and it's probably
That's probably me.
it's probably you. Oh well, you know. But yeah, no, I mean I mean, yeah, I agree with your tinfoil assessment on that. Um, totally. I don't, my other tinfoil hat thing is, I think too many, and I'll include myself in this. Too many of us worry too much about the nuts and bolts of the franchises we love, and sometimes we should just like, okay, this show might be delayed. Just like I just need to let it go sometimes, and just look at all the stuff I do have. You know,
Yeah, especially considering, okay, we've got Skeleton Crew coming up. We have Ahsoka coming up. We just got Vision season 2 and the Young Jedi Adventures or whatever it is. So we have a lot of new Star Wars coming.
right?
And we just got done with another season of The Mandalorian, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, Bad Batch season 2. We just got a whole bunch of new comment or content that's still out there that we haven't watched as much as the original stuff. So we are definitely not we're not starving for Star Wars stuff.
Right.
And I think sometimes we need to pause, and as I say to our kids, appreciate what we do have and not necessarily just long for the stuff that we don't have or be upset with the things that we don't have.
Yeah. Yeah, Ark said something nice too. See if I can remember how to click this. There we go. Oops, not that one. I mean, it is nice that he's working on his ATV, but
Oh, that's really nice, Ark. Thanks for that. Hopefully you feel confident and comfortable enough to share your opinions on stuff with us, knowing that we're not going to, you know, be overly critical and mean about it.
yeah. Well, there's just so many cool things. I mean, so if we end up our conspiracy, let's end with predictions. What do you think? Because we're 48 minutes in, so we're trying to keep to our under an hour. Keep it, watchable and re-listenable. Hopefully, if I can get my thing working, we can actually get it up on the feed. Ken, give us a prediction of anything Star Wars for the next, I don't know, 6 months.
I predict that no matter how good Skeleton Crew or Ahsoka are, that people will heap crap on it.
Okay, give us your predicted headline. If from anti Ken. If you're anti Ken, give us Ahsoka anti Ken headline.
That the Ahsoka show is a show that nobody needed or wanted.
Okay.
Oh,
It's a Star Wars show that nobody cared about.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm putting this as a ticker.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks. Ahsoka will be reviewed as the show that nobody wanted or asked for.
Nobody wanted or asked for.
Because that's what some people said about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So I think somebody's gonna say that about Ahsoka.
Okay, so look, here's the ticker I made for where did it go? Oh, here it is.
What do you got for us, John?
Well, to piggyback off that, my headline is going to be insert any of the upcoming Star Wars projects. For this example, we'll just use Ahsoka. Ahsoka is a betrayal to everything Star Wars and everything that has come before it. You know somebody's going to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not...
Betrayal.
What's that?
It's like Bet Ray AL. BETRAY.
Betrayal to
everything that's
again,
come before it.
It's a betrayal to.
It's a betrayal to everything Star Wars. Yeah, you know somebody's gonna say it.
And it would have been better if George Lucas was involved.
But that's another tinfoil. I feel like Disney is going to bring in George for something in the near future. I don't know why. I've just gotten this sixth sense that, you know, they're gonna really hammer it home. Like, y'all wanted George back. Here is George Lucas's whatever. Maybe if it's not directing, writing, he'll at least produce.
He's gonna do the movie about the midichlorians.
Yes, that's what he should do.
And it'll be done as a documentary.
Well, I think, honestly, when the Acolyte comes out, I think the Acolyte is going to get the worst criticism from the, I don't know, what do they call the guys who don't want any females involved in it?
Misogynists?
Well, yeah, but they have something for them. Incels?
That's different.
Well, I don't know, but whatever. I think
the alpha males?
When that show comes out, we are going to hear some of the most hatred for that show.
Oh, you're going to hear the hatred for the show. You're going to hear the hatred for the showrunner.
Yep.
I mean, even
the main actress, she's gonna be the worst actress. That's my prediction for the Acolyte. All right, we got a couple minutes. So now that's our anti one. What's a good prediction, Ken?
Good prediction is that they're going to announce at least 4 more seasons of The Mandalorian.
Nice.
That's a hefty prediction.
With a future movie to be actually 3 future movies to be directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, Rick Famuyiwa, and Deborah Chow. So the 3 of them are going to be given the opportunity to make Star Wars movies and not just Star Wars TV.
John, what do you think? What's a good prediction?
Does it have to be Star Wars related?
Well, it can be anything.
Browns are going to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, there's always that. I bleed brown and orange. However, I was going to say Futurama is going to be the #1 sci-fi property by the end of the year.
Futurama?
Futurama will be the best sci-fi production this year. I guarantee it.
Star Wars is science fantasy, or I might have to disagree with you on that.
All right, fair enough. I guess technically Futurama is too.
See, I like that, but what's the medieval one that's the new one?
Disenchanted.
I like Disenchanted too.
Yeah, it's good, but you know, it just doesn't hit the same as Futurama. Anyway, my Star Wars prediction though is that everyone's going to love Ahsoka. Ahsoka will be regarded as the best Star Wars that has been put out in the last 20 years.
I think, which I hope what you just said is true, but my prediction is that Skeleton Crew is going to be the big surprise. It's going to be like the Andor was to the other shows. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. See, but my cynicism, I mean, it's, who are we kidding? Like, whatever comes out, they could literally just put, you know, deep fake Luke Skywalker on the screen for an hour, and we'll say it's the best thing since sliced bread. The 3 of us are going to love anything they put out.
Yeah.
However, I think Skeleton Crew is going to get buried.
Really?
I I think it looks fantastic, especially from what we saw at Celebration. Oh my god, I'm so excited. However, I think the main audience is going to think that it's it's too kiddie, it's too kid friendly, especially with child actors. So I think Skeleton Crew is going to get absolutely eviscerated.
See, I picture Skeleton Crew being what season 1 of The Mandalorian did for a lot of people, where the one member of the family who was a Star Wars fan sat down to watch it, and then the dad who might have liked Westerns watched it, and the mom came in and liked Grogu, and you had whole families who you would have never thought would have watched Star Wars together, watching Star Wars. And I'm that's my prediction. That's my tinfoil.
They're going to need a big hook. They're going to need a Grogu-esque hook to get everybody into it like that.
Right.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
I don't know.
And I'm all for it. Believe me. But I think it will need this surprise catch that we never anticipated and didn't.
We haven't had a good one since. Well, Princess Leia was the last one.
Vivian Leigh Belair as Princess Leia. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, as fantastic as that was, I don't know if it was as big of a hook as Grogu.
No, but
IG-12 was pretty good.
But that's what hooked like my wife to watch Obi-Wan with us. So I can tell the level of Star Wars show is if my wife wants to watch it with us. Like she'll watch stuff with us like if we're watching something, but she would like want to watch it every week till the next episode came out. And that's how The Mandalorian was. And that's how Obi-Wan was, So we'll see, but that's a good show. So topic for next week.
Were you going to do the random?
Let me get some. I'm going to get some books. We're going to do random. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So you missed it. He's gonna give us a number of one of the volumes, and then we're gonna pick a page number from that volume, and that will be the thing that we come back next week and talk about.
Can you tell it's the off season or what?
Okay. To keep it fair, I'm not going to pick. I'll let one of you guys pick a number. Here's your choices: 9, 28, 3, 71, or 24.
So you pick that number, John, and I'll do the page number.
Oh, I'm feeling
Ready?
24.
9, 28, 3, 71, 24.
I turned 24 in less than a month, so I'm feeling 24.
24? All right. This one I didn't even open yet. So your main topic is Jabba the Hutt and other characters of the underworld. Okay.
Nice. And what are the page numbers do we have to pick
Page
from?
number, Ken? 1 to 72.
1 to 72. Let's go with 40 for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
All right. Here is our choices. Oh, man. The Sword of Khashyn. Khashyn.
Oh, sure, the Sword of Kashun, of course.
Really?
No.
So there's the title on the page, and there's two people pictured on the page. Hondo or Ezra.
Ooh.
So what's our topic?
Well, considering that it's the underworld, let's go with Hondo. Let's have Hondo be our topic.
All right. So Hondo is our topic next week.
All right.
All right.
We're pirates. We don't even know what that means.
Let me do our exit out so we get the end, and then we will convene in a second. If I can get... I think we went over an hour. We're going to be... but we'll be
push the button, Mike. Push the button.